Good evening, everybody. Hello there. Now we're from Group 5 presenting our presentation. Okay, next slide. The first of all, we will introduce our member of team. The first is Angga Pratama Putra, then Iah Wahyu, then Abdurrahman Afwan, and Ihdi Ulhaq.
Okay, so we are gonna talk about noun clause and adjective clause. What is noun clause? A noun clause is a dependent or subordinate clause that works as a noun. It can be subject of a sentence, an object, or a complement. Like all nouns, the purpose of a noun clause is to name a
Oh,
person,
putus-putus ya.
place, thing, or idea. Sometimes when we want to name something, a single word won't do. Sometimes we need a group of words to name something. That's why we use noun clause. For example, I do not know what the future holds, but I know who holds the future, said by Oprah Winfrey. The two noun clauses are what the future holds and who holds the future. In both cases, the clauses are doing what nouns can do, acting as a direct object. The second one is the greater teacher Yoda tells the Luke, "You must unlearn what you have learned." So, what must Luke unlearn? What you have learned. This is clause is a this clause is a noun clause. It is a direct object in this sentence. Part of the noun clause. Because a noun clause is a clause, you should be able to find both as a subject and a verb. As a subject is what the clause or sentence is about. The subject is often, but not always, the thing performing the action of the verb. For example, what Peters loved most about reading mysteries is how the authors leave clues for careful readers. The first clause is about Peter, and the second clause is about authors. Whoever spilled the milk should clean it up. The sentence is about whoever. Now, as a verb. A verb is an action word or a state of being word. For example, morning time is when I feel most energetic. Feel is the action word in the sentence. You may take whichever cookies you want. May take and want are action words. Type of noun clauses. Noun clauses as a subject. Whoever leaves last should turn off the light. The sentence is about whoever leaves last. Whoever leaves last is also the person performing the action of turning off the light. Therefore, the noun clauses is the subject of the sentence. In music, which note is played and how long it is played are both essential. The sentence is about two things, which note is played and how long it is played. Therefore, both of those noun clauses are the subject of the sentence.
And noun clause as object. Object are words that receive a noun part of a sentence. There are the three types of object. Direct object reacts the active of the verb. Indirect object react direct object. Object of proposite receive proposite. Next, my dog will eat whatever food I give him. The noun clause reserves the action of the verb add, so it is a direct object. it answer the question, it what? Next. The judges will award with whatever, pointing the blue ribbon. The noun clause is reserved the direct object blue ribbon. Blue ribbon is the direct object because it is reviving the verb word. I want to play with whoever is a good sport. The noun clause is receiving the proposite with. Noun clause as compiles. A compiles restates or give more information about a noun. It always follow a state of being verb. Is, are, am, will, be, was, were. The winner will be whoever gets the most votes. Noun clause here is a complement because it gives more information about winner. My hope is that everyone here because friends. The noun clause is a complement because it tells more about hope. The introduction word.
Then we got the adjective clause. An adjective clause is also known as a relative clause. It's a type-dependent clause that works to describe a noun instance. Adjective clauses are
Tuh,
dependent.
wrong loh. Balik.
Anjir, gak sido. Anu lah aku. Sumpah lo, telek ya.
Monggo.
Siap.
Wis, monggo.
And then we got the adjective clause. An adjective clause is also known as relative clause. It's a type-dependent clause that works to describe a noun instances. Adjective clause is a dependent clause that acts in adjective, begin with a relative pronoun such as who, when, which, whose, and that. Then we got the example of words that will be meet in adjective clauses. We got that, we got who, we got whom, we got when, and which. Beginning from that, the book that he just read is interesting. That is the relative pronoun to describe the subject book. Then we got the who, Angga, who was late again today. Sits next to me in math. Who is replacing Angga in the second clause and relating it to the subject of the independent clause. Then we got the whom. Those are students from whom I bought the tickets. Whom is the object of the preposition for. Then we got the when. 7 o'clock was the time when we were supposed to be there. When is describing 7 o'clock to provide more information. Then we got which chocolate, which many people adore, is fattening. Which is the subject to provide more information to describe chocolate. Got next slide. Okay. Then we move to restrictive and non-restrictive clause. Restrictive and non-restrictive clause is also known as essential and non-essential clause. Then we will see the difference between the essential one and non-essential one. The essential one is an essential adjective clause does not require any additional punctuation such as comma or any punctuation. A restrictive adjective clause is necessary to the meaning of the sentences. Then we got the non-essential. A non-essential adjective clause is the other hand give extra description that is not strictly required to understand the writer's intent. And we got the example of the essential adjective clause. For example, I don't like the children who eat ice cream with their hands. Explanation. In this case, the adjective clause gives essential information to describe the children. If you got rid of that clause, the sentence would simply say, I don't like the children, which is very different from not liking messy children who eat with their hands. Then we got the non-essential example, the kitten, which was the smallest of the litter, finally found a foster home. Explanation. In this case, the adjective clause gives extra information, but it isn't necessary to get the gist of the sentences about the cat finding a home. Non-essential adjective clauses are set off with comma to show that they aren't as strongly connected to the rest of the sentences. And we got that versus which. That is a pronoun that always begin a restrictive clause that can be used to replace who. And then which, pronoun which generally begins a non-restrictive clause. It can begin restrictive clause, but most style manual prefer writers use it only for non-restrictive clauses. That versus which, and the example. The example of that, the oranges that you need for this recipe are on table. The worker who built this bridge did a great job. We got the same as the orange that replacing that and the workers with the bright. Then we got the wheat, the orange which have been sitting on the table for a week are starting to look brown. It's just give the description. Okay, that's it for today. That's it for our presentation. If there is so many mistake, please get yeah, we apologize for any mistake we happened today and see ya. Thank you and good evening.